Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahabushai, Bahasham, Rakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Isaiah chapter 29, verse 18. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of the book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. And this is speaking of the spiritual eyes and ears of the elect of the nation of Israel. The nation of Israel consisting of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigners who have been scattered across the planet and have come to look like these heathen nations, being opened, to the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, to the words in the book by his mouthpiece, the prophets, out on the highways and byways preaching this word, as well as putting up video epistles like this. Hey, they are no longer under that covering cast, that darkness that has been cast over this world by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. They're no longer referring to themselves as a so-called black, Native American, Latino. They know that they're the Israelites, and they're not following after the ways of this world, but they're coming back to the ways of their forefathers. Verse 19, the meek also shall increase their joy in Yahweh, and the poor among men shall rejoice in the Holy One of Israel. And hey, the elect are having their joy increased, and they are rejoicing in Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, because they see that this situation we're in right now, where we're perpetual second-class citizens in this system of Esau Edoms, isn't the end-all be-all, that it does have an end, and that end is very near. And then our kingdom shall be established, the kingdom of Yasharallah, the kingdom of heaven, where we will rule in righteousness for eternity. For the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off, all our adversaries being taken out of the way. Spiritually right now, the terrible one is being brought to naught, with Esau Edom being revealed as the wicked in the Bible, and it's being revealed what his judgment, as well as the judgment of these other heathen nations are. And then the physical part's going to come when Yahabushai, the Son of the Most High, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus, makes his second coming to save his elect and make a war against these heathens, chiefly Esau, and put an end to their rulership. Verse 21, here's the main point I wanted to get to, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. And we can clearly see that the powers that be are getting ready to make a man of the Lord, the prophets, offenders for the words of Yahweh Bahasham Yahabushai, by demonizing this word and making us public enemy number one. And with this AI and deep fake technology coming out, they're going to take this persecution of the men of the Lord to a whole nother level, to where besides just taking, the thousands of hours of footage we have online and, taking tidbits here and there and remixing it to make it, to create a narrative, to make it, just look bad, some of the more fiery stuff we say. With this technology, they can just take our faces and take our voices and just make us say things we didn't say at all, make us do things we didn't say at all, and then present it to the public as authentic footage. And the majority of people out here are brain dead, so they're going to believe it. I opened up the video with these verses and those statements to just give a spiritual speculation on a new little, I guess, policy that came up on YouTube's channel, because I like to whenever I upload my videos, I like to go to the studio and check the correct things here and there and add tags and just set up the video the way I want it to be set up. So I'm always seeing the new little updates they put in here and there in the studio, and the recent one they put up was very interesting, which I'm gonna go to right now. I took a screenshot, and it's under something called altered content, and I noticed this about 2 weeks ago. Do any of the following describe your content? makes a real person appear to say or do something they didn't say or do, like a deep fake, alters footage of a real event or place, hey, generates a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. And I was just thinking to myself, brothers will, once they do their videos, they'll watch over them again to make sure they had everything right and then upload it. No worries. And once you upload that video, you rarely, well, I'll just say this, after you've watched over it once and saw that there were no issues, you usually don't go back and watch over it again. So with that being the case, and with them just even putting this kind of, policy on their channel now, who's to say they can't go back and just completely alter everything you say? The things that they say, we are over here at GMS, like what, that we promote grape and just all kind of madness. Hey, they could go and alter a brother's voice and have him, make a whole 30-minute video just promoting that kind of stuff, or just promoting things we never did or say. Or what, they could generate a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. A Edomite or a heathen comes up to the camp and Jake just, gets into a fight with them and beats the shit out of them. And then with that being presented there, hey, they make a man an offender for a word and are justified in not only scrubbing the video, but but arresting that brother. These are the times we're coming into, as it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, that devil is about to come down in great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Esau, Edom, is on the ropes. He's getting exposed. Those little hats are getting exposed for not being the true children of Israel. Vladimir Putin just released those Russian icons that they had in the vaults that showed that it was actually, Negroes that ruled Europe during the Dark Ages. And Esau, Edom is just becoming a common term out here, to where even the average person has heard of the Edomites. Hey, this devil is his back is against the wall, and like a cornered animal with no way out, he's about to go to what he knows, using that sword. And that sword doesn't just have to be a physical gun or manhandling or anything like that. His sword is also his policies. Like it says in, I think it's Psalm 64, who whet their tongue like a sword, even bitter words. Esau, Edom creating these narratives out here just to further demonize the men of the Lord and this word, and come after us and scrub these videos off the internet. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan, and you have the spiritual demon Satan, which is the top left-handed angel of the Most High, and his physical counterpart that does his dirty work on the earth, Esau, Edom, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And this whole thing with AI and deepfakes is just another device of Esau, Edom's that he's going to come with in great wrath to, persecute the men of the Lord, and persecute the word, and persecute the believers. And we have instances all throughout the scriptures where false witnesses were brought up against the men of the Lord with false testimonies to create a narrative to demonize them and have them persecuted, and in some cases put to death. And as it says in Romans chapter 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning. And also in Ecclesiastes chapter 1, there is nothing new under the sun. And I'm gonna just get a few examples of that. This is Acts chapter 6. I'm gonna start at verse 8. And this is talking about those of the circumcision, the Israelites who knew that they were Israelites, getting mad at the apostles and the disciples of Yahushua, who were bringing in the Israelite Gentiles. And Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people, which the fact that you've got the men of the Lord, and I'm speaking first and foremost to GMS or Great Millstone, because if the Spirit's dealing with you, you can clearly see that Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua, is dealing with GMS, as well as the men that come in the spirit of GMS. We're giving you the doctrine 144% raw and in truth, not cutting it with anything. And this is a great wonder and a miracle that's being done amongst our people. Look at what just preaching this word has done. It's led to this great awakening, and it's leading to the end of this current age of the heathens, chiefly Esau, Edoms. And actual physical miracles will come again, just like physical miracles were performed during the times of the Acts of the Apostles. Everything written aforetime was written for our learning. And hey, we're in the Acts of the Apostles, the book of Acts 2.0. But real quick, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which it has been through what? The unicorn or the internet. Whereas it says in Psalms chapter 19, day nor night, their speech goes out, and in every tongue, constantly, this internet has allowed this ministry to spread like wildfire across the planet and wake up the elect from the four corners of the earth. And as it's about to say, unto all nations, and then shall the end come. By simply preaching this word, which again is a great spiritual wonder and miracle, it's not only waking up the elect of the nation of Israel, but bringing about the end of Esau, Edom's current system and revealing him as the wicked. So you better be damn sure he's coming down in great wrath to scrub this word from the internet and eventually lay hands on the men of the Lord physically, as well as the believers. But again, and Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and miracles among the people. Then there arose certain of the synagogue, which is called the synagogue of the Libertines, and the Cyrenians and Alexandrians, and of them of Cilicia and of Asia, disputing with Stephen, like what these other camps do with GMS whenever we get on them. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spake. Also, when they come with an off doctrine, we simply go to the scriptures and tell you what it is and cut them. And all they can do is resort to ad hominems and bearing false witnesses against us. Just like that interview that resurfaced with Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, where he was being interviewed by that little hat. And he said, there are some camps out here that teach it's okay to grape and to steal. And the little hat said what? Oh, like great grand millstone. And Bishop Nate so-called corrected him, saying great millstone. Hey, the little hats are watching. And a lot of these people in these other camps, you're going to find out, were wolves in sheep's clothing that made a league with Esau, Edom. To what? Push Esau's narrative and to demonize the truth. Verse 11. Then they suborned men, which said, we have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against the Most High. And I'm going to get that word suborned in the Strongs, which is G5260, hypobalo. And I'm going to go to the outline of biblical usage first, and then the Strong's info. To throw or put under, to suggest to the mind, to instruct privately, instigate, to bribe or induce someone unlawfully or secretly to perform some misdeed or commit a crime, to induce a person, especially a witness, to give false testimony, which is what they did to Stephen and, the apostles and the disciples of Yahushua back then. Those of the circumcision, hey, especially, and it's no different today. But what I also found interesting is, what does it say in the Strong's info? To throw in stealthily. And again, this is something that was thrown in stealthily recently on YouTube's channel. Does your content make a real person appear or say to do something they didn't say or do? Alters footage of a real event or place? Generates a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur? Esau, Edom using that AI to suborn false images, false events, and false things of brothers saying things they didn't say. To what? Demonize us. Verse 12, and they stirred up the people and the elders and the scribes, and came upon him and caught him and brought him to the council, and set up false witnesses, which said, this man ceaseth not to speak blasphemous words against this holy law and against this holy place and the law. Hey, main point I wanted to get, Stephen couldn't be resisted because the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai was dealing with him. So those wicked men of the circumcision had to suborn men and come up with false witnesses to demonize him and rile up the people against him. Just like what we're seeing today with, some of these other camps, making false testimonies against us, as well as these, wacky-tacky Christians like Vocab Malone, Dr. James White, or any of these other people out here. And on top of that, the powers that be, labeling us as the black Hebrew Israelites and just, putting that narrative on us and making us seem like we do and say things we didn't do or say. And then on top of that, with this AI and deepfake technology, they can take our actual likenesses and voices and create entirely animated scenes of stuff we didn't do or say to demonize us and rile up the majority of the people against us. And which it also says in the scriptures, we shall be hated of many for the Lord's sake. Back in Matthew chapter 24, I'm go to verse 12. I'll read verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. All the things that are going to be brought against us, the persecutions, being thrown in prison, having our loved ones turn against us, and some of us even faced with death. Whatever our lot is, as long as we endure to the end, we shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom, Slacky, I went a little too far down. I meant to go up some. Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, which by us preaching the right words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai right now, many are offended by our testimony. How much more when they create completely generated scenes of brothers doing things they didn't do and saying things they didn't do and pushing it as authentic to further demonize us. The things they accuse us of, they could very well have footage, made up, showing us doing those things to where they can be like, look, we told you these guys did that. They promote rape and violence and all that stuff. And then they'll be justified in rolling on us, and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. But the key point, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And these are the times we're coming into, Akim, where this persecution is going to be on a whole nother level. Like nothing we could have anticipated before. And we're definitely going to need the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to protect us against those that lay a snare for those that reprove in the gate and make a man an offender for a word. But as it said in verse 13, but he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So before I get to my last precept, I'll say this too. I wouldn't be surprised, and again, this is just a spiritual speculation, in the immediate future, if brothers start getting calls from, older brothers or elders saying, hey, what are you doing saying this in a video? And the brother goes back and watches the video, and it's just nothing they did or say, but it was an AI generated, editing of their video to make them do or say things they didn't do. So that would mean what? We can't even trust, putting up our videos onto YouTube or these other social media platforms. So what's that ultimately going to lead to? The faming of the word. And another thing I've always thought about, say, to the brothers that are going to get rounded up by the authorities and put into these detention centers. Say the interrogators got you in a room and they say, hey, look, it was your brother that turned you in, and they show you a video of a brother saying, yeah, so that's so-and-so, this is his Hebrew name, this is his true name. And they'll say, look, we'll get you off of your charges if you turn him in. And he'll say, yeah, I'm willing to do that. Hey, that could very well be something to get you to turn a brother in. It's going to get to the point to where you got to be like, look, I want that brother to come into this interrogation room and tell me he did that himself. Hey, again, just spiritual speculations, but hey, we got to be prepared for all things that are about to come our way. But like I was saying, what this is ultimately going to lead to is the fame of the word, where the video epistles are no longer going to be online, or the men of the Lord are no longer going to be on the highways and byways preaching this word. But I'm going to close it out in Amos chapter 8, verses 11 to 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, though food shortages, famines that are going to kill many people off are coming as well, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, the famine of the word. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. And when these rivers of living waters are turned off, hey, it's really going to be like that. Hard to find, if that. And hey, the Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to have to really be dealing with you if he brings you by a brother during the fame of the word, and that brother, you know, has the spirit on him to sup with you and actually try to teach you. But for the majority of our people, that's not going to be the case. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst spiritually. All these calamities of Jacob's trouble taking place, and them trying to find answers, but not being able to find answers, and having to take whatever horrific judgment comes their way. So that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Hey, just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.